Welcome to This Explainer. You know, today we're doing something a little different. We aren't just rattling off a standard biography, we're diving deep into the absolute obsession, the pure unfiltered drive that forged one of the greatest football machines in human history. I mean, how does a player not just survive, but totally dominate and literally rewrite the history books for over 20 years? We're going to break down exactly how Cristiano Ronaldo shattered records people thought were mathematically impossible. Let's get right into the mindset behind the legend.
Right off the bat, we have to talk about this number, 6. It completely anchors our explainer today. During the 2026 tournament, at the unbelievable age of 41, Cristiano Ronaldo became the first player ever to score in 6 different FIFA World Cups. Think about that for a second. The World Cup only happens once every 4 years. To score in 6 of them, that means maintaining world-class elite striking ability for more than 2 decades on the absolute hardest international stage there is. It's insane. So how do you build a body and a career capable of doing that? Well, as we're gonna see, it definitely wasn't just raw talent.
But before we get into the whole machine aspect, we've got to talk about the human being. This deeply emotional, viral message from his mother, Dolores, which made the rounds globally around that 2026 tournament, is a massive reminder. Behind this larger-than-life superhuman achievement is a very real story of family sacrifice. You see, Dolores raised 4 kids after the tragic loss of Ronaldo's father. She backed his toughest childhood choices, and honestly, her rock-solid support is the actual foundation all these historic records are built on.
Chapter 1, Escaping Poverty in Madeira. To really grasp how he engineered this kind of unprecedented longevity, we have to rewind back to the extreme hardships of his early life.
The sheer steepness of this climb is just staggering. Born in 1985 in Funchal, Madeira, Ronaldo's family lived in a tiny, cramped, tin-roofed house. His mom worked as a cook and a cleaner, while his dad battled severe alcoholism. There were literally 0 natural advantages here. At just 12 years old, he had to make the agonizing call to leave his family for the Sporting CP Academy in Lisbon. Oh, and if that wasn't hard enough, at 15, his entire dream almost flatlined due to a career-threatening heart condition that required surgery. Just wild stuff.
The contrast of his childhood is absolutely fascinating. Back in Madeira, he was this kid with such a fierce, burning hunger that people actually called him a crybaby because he would literally burst into tears when his teammates missed goals. But then, cut to the boy in Lisbon. He was completely isolated, severely homesick, getting mocked every single day for his thick island accent. Now, 99% of kids would have packed their bags and gone home, not him. Ronaldo channeled every single ounce of that frustration and loneliness straight into a punishing training regimen. He didn't shrink, he worked.
Chapter 2, the Manchester United audition. That sheer, undeniable dedication set him up perfectly for a breakout night that would permanently flip the script on global football.
August 6, 2003. This date is so legendary, so pivotal, that Ronaldo actually had it stitched into his boots years later. When Manchester United came to Lisbon for a preseason friendly, this 18-year-old winger played with such electrifying, jaw-dropping skill that it sent shockwaves through the entire stadium. Manager Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the greatest coaches to ever live, was absolutely mesmerized. He famously told his board he flat-out refused to leave Portugal without signing the teenager.
His opponent that night, Manchester United's Danny Pugh, remembered watching from the bench and said he was there to put on a show. Every time he got the ball, he wanted to do something. He had so much belief. Just sit with that for a second. An 18-year-old kid, squaring up against one of the biggest clubs on the planet, completely unintimidated. He already had the unshakable swagger and belief of a global superstar. And you absolutely need that mindset if you're planning to rewrite the record books for the next 20 years.
Chapter 3, the table tennis obsession. Because guys, it wasn't just physical talent driving this rise. His total refusal to accept defeat bordered on the obsessive.
Okay, you have to hear this hilarious yet perfectly revealing story from his old teammate Patrice Evra. So Ronaldo loses a totally casual game of table tennis to Rio Ferdinand. He is visibly ticked off. Does he laugh it off like a normal person? Absolutely not. He sends his cousin out to buy a ping pong table, sets it up in his house, and trains in absolute secrecy for 2 solid weeks. Then he challenges Rio to a rematch and totally destroys him in front of the whole squad. It's funny, right? But it exposes this psychotic competitive drive. If a casual ping pong loss triggers a 2-week revenge training camp, imagine how he prepares for a World Cup.
Chapter 4, Building a Global Legend. Let's look at how this intense, bordering on crazy mentality built the physical architecture of an athlete who somehow defies aging. The daily reality of this obsession was grueling. Teammates would show up for morning practice only to find him already dripping in sweat from a solo workout. At night, he's out there practicing dribbling in the dark with heavy weights strapped to his ankles. He basically engineered his entire life around performance. 6 carefully planned meals a day, resting in 5 90-minute sleep cycles, doing cryotherapy, and a total, absolute refusal to touch a drop of alcohol, a deeply poignant promise tied to his father's struggles. Transforming his body into a literal machine is exactly how he stayed fit enough to break World Cup records at 41.
This relentless mental and physical evolution eventually led to a pretty staggering number, an 80 million pound transfer fee. In 2009, he made the jump to Real Madrid for what was at the time a world record sum. The homesick kid from the tin-roofed house had officially become the most expensive asset in the history of the sport. And to really grasp the sheer gravity of his star power right at that moment, think about this number, 80,000. Exactly 80,000 ecstatic fans crammed into the Santiago Bernabéu stadium. And they weren't there for a match. They were there just to watch him be introduced, put on a white shirt, and juggle a football. It's unbelievable. He was a full-blown cultural phenomenon.
But the crazy part is, he didn't just live up to that suffocating pressure, he completely obliterated it. He kept up that superhuman focus and longevity to score an unbelievable 450 goals in just 438 games for Real Madrid. I mean, averaging more than a goal a game for nearly a decade in European football, that is easily one of the most statistically dominant, mind-bending single-club runs in sports history.
Still, for years, critics would say, sure, his individual stats are great, but where's the international glory? Well, flash forward to the 2016 European Championship final. He gets tragically injured early in the match. His big moment seemed completely ruined, right? But instead of hiding away in the locker room, he spends the rest of the game out on the touchline in a tracksuit, gesturing wildly, crying, and literally coaching Portugal to their greatest victory ever, without even being on the pitch. He proved his drive could elevate an entire nation, even from the sidelines.
We've just explored the anatomy of a guy who absolutely refuses to accept endings, taking his relentless drive all the way to Saudi Arabia's Al Nassr. And of course, becoming the only player in history to score in 6 World Cups. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. If a homesick kid from a tiny tin-roofed house in Madeira can engineer his mind and body to completely shatter the limits of human potential, how is your own environment shaping what you are capable of? Really ask yourself what you might achieve with even a fraction of that relentless obsession. Thanks so much for joining me, and keep pushing your own boundaries.